It's a battle of the dark horses in Serie A. Valencia are in a six-pointer in La Liga.
Freiburg look to stamp their European credentials in the Bundesliga, and City look to take on those tricky trees of the Prem. All this and more in episode 50 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. News, kick us off.
Let's dig in. Yes. Welcome back, everybody, to the No Business Soccer Podcast. And it's a big one. It is a monumentous occasion. I should have got a drink for it. I didn't, but you know who does, and we'll talk about him in just a second. I am your host, Snooze, and this is the 50th episode, as Hyman just said, of the No Business Soccer Podcast. We have the full fam today, J-Fam, the Brainiac in the back. We have, of course, Danny P on the ones and twos, and my boy Hype Man Vic. What you sipping on for the 50th episode, dog?
Well, I had to take it back to what started it all. My whole whiskey journey, not whiskey hunting, bourbon hunting or anything, but this Lagavulin 16 right here. This is my first bottle that I spent more than like $20 on, because I would always just get Gentleman Jack or something like that. And I got it because I was a Parks and Recs fan. So all your Ron Swanson and stuff.
When? I never heard you once watch that show.
I watched Parks and Recs like 6-7 times all the way through already. So.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, so it's Lagavulin 16. It's one of their best ones. I finished the Distillers Edition, otherwise I would use that. But cheers, everyone, to 50 episodes.
Yeah, cheers. Bink. By the way, you think you know somebody? I hang out with this guy all the time. Never knew he liked that show. So
we never watched TV together. We just
that's football. True. We watched a lot of TV together in sports context. Yeah. So, well. Today we have all the leagues back, which is going to be awesome. I mean, whenever there's a league missing or there's a midweek match, it's like it throws me off. I like my weekend. I like my schedule of all of these leagues that we have going on. And then we also have to cover, of course, before we jump into the leagues, UEFA competition update. We had the first leg of all of the round of 16 matches. And Vic, do we jumping right into that, or we got anything else?
No, let's jump into it. It's a good subject.
Okay, UEFA competitions. Let's go.
Yes.
Go. Yeah, we had an amazing time with the first legs of these round of 16 matches. We'll talk about the Conference League first. It just ended today, and we also had the Europa League as well. But we're starting in the Conference League. And in the Conference League, there's some upsets that I wasn't intending to happen anyway. We'll start off with Panathinaikos, I think is how you say it. I mess it up every time. They're always in this league too. They beat our Fiorentina 3-2. And they were up 2-0 in the very beginning of the game before Fiorentina kind of stormed back, and they ended up getting that 3-2 win. What an unfortunate time. Fiorentina is collapsing, man. I don't know what's going on with them, but yeah. I will say their third kits, Vic, if you hadn't seen it yet, they're like this cool, like just straight red color with the purple badge. I like it. It's awesome. All right. Fair enough. Another upset of some sorts was Real Betis drawing 2-2 with Vitoria. That is not what I was expecting after Real Betis, beating Madrid recently and kind of looking awesome since Anthony been there. They end up getting a draw 2-2. Chelsea does get it done against Copenhagen 2-1. And then let's see. Yeah, that was the only. There's obviously other matches, but those are the only matches that with notable teams for now. Maybe these teams will grow and kind of be something we'll cover. But for now, let's move on to the Europa League, which did have a lot more matches with bigger name teams. And I think none of the matches were bigger than Manchester United versus Real Sociedad. And this match there wasn't a lot in it in the first half, but it ended up being a 1-1 draw. And this was at Real Sociedad, so they'll be in Manchester for the second leg. Another match that was kind of unexpected, at least to me, was Rangers beating Fenerbahce 3-1. But yeah, Mourinho was going crazy on the sideline. Rangers looked really good. And going into the second leg with a 2-goal lead is pretty awesome. The match, unfortunately, we have to talk about. Tottenham lose to AZ Alkmaar 1-0. And that goal was thanks to a own goal by Bergvall. So, yeah, not a good time. That team looked like they didn't want to be there. Let's just put it that way. But a good thing did happen for us, Vic, and it was Lazio getting a 2-1 win over Victoria Pilsen. So that was cool. They also got a red card to go with that one. Eintracht beat Ajax 2-1, and then Roma get it done against Bilbao 2-1 as well. So, a lot of good matchups in the Europa League that ended. We only had one draw in the first leg.
Not bad.
So, not bad.
Yeah, I love that.
But you know what we really love is some Champions League, baby. And so let's talk about it. First, we had Aston Villa beating Club Brugge 3-1. We had the Madrid derby where Real Madrid gets the 2-1 win over Atletico Madrid. But damn, we saw that Julian Alvarez goal, and we were that deserved to be a winner. Let me just put it that way. I mean, that dude was insane. That goal, that angle, it was awesome. And then, Vic, the biggest surprise was how bad PSV got their ass whooped. 7-1 to Arsenal. What the hell? That was your match that you wanted to watch Arsenal lose.
Yes, I know. I was excited for that match, and then I think they started subbing people in the 30th minute because they were like, "Yeah, we're up 3s. We got this."
Dude had a yellow card or whatever. They're like, "Yeah, let's get you out of here. We don't need you sent off." 7-1. I believe I was listening to the broadcast, and I believe they said it was the first time that a road team had 7 goals in a knockout leg of the UEFA competition, or the Champions League competition, I guess I should say. Crazy. Then we had Dortmund and Lille drawing 1-1. Inter getting the better of Feyenoord 2-0. The match that I was completely wrong about, Bayern beating Leverkusen 3-0. They dominated that match. And, I'll have to be honest here. The thing that I was talking about, we put out a short, was who was the better team if one of them beat the other in this match. If Leverkusen beat Bayern in the round of 16, but then Bayern won the league. Well, Vic, it turns out we're not going to have to worry about that because Bayern will just win all the goddamn things, right?
Not an issue. No.
Yeah, no issue at all. Barcelona get Benfica 1-0, but they were man down early, like really early, and they still get that 1-0 win. And then, of course, he took a sip right when I'm going to it. Liverpool getting the better of PSG 1-0 against the run of play. And, man, that was an ass whooping that is not an ass whooping on the score. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, we made out like bandits over there. I was like, there's no way we scored. I was like, if we can in this, we're going to steal this. It was absolutely crazy. And I think Becker was the most saves in the Champions League round of 16. Yeah, with the clean sheet, like it was insane. So Becker was in that match. We looked terrible. And for most of that match, I was just like, wow, this weekend sucks. PSV got destroyed by Arsenal, and then now we're getting destroyed by PSG, who's just making us look like out there for a while. And no, we got one and stole it. So
stole it in the end. We've seen that so many times, though, where a team that is dominating doesn't take their chances and then ends up losing or getting countered or drawing, whatever, whenever they really deserve the win. But again, what does deserving mean? The score is the score. It's 1-0 going back to Liverpool next week. But the craziest part about the whole match was like Dembele looked amazing. Barcola looked amazing. Havica Kvaratskhelia, got to say the whole name, looked amazing, and yet they still couldn't score. So, if it continues that way in Liverpool and at Anfield next week, we'll see how it turns out. But they have a goal lead going into that game. So crazy times. I could not believe what I was seeing.
I will say it's probably the best week for Liverpool to get Southampton in the Premier League. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, or we'll bring it up here in a little bit. But damn, we got a good week to get them.
Yeah, get back on track and going. Okay, well, hey, nice lead off there. I think we are ready. That was the first legs of the UEFA competitions, the round of 16s of the UEFA competitions. We have the second legs coming next week. Like, it's crazy. The old format, I felt like there was so much of a gap where you didn't have competition or European competition play, and now it feels like it's just happening every week. Feels like so. It's cool for us, but probably not so much for the teams. They're probably not liking that. They want a little bit more of a break. Okay, well, let's move on then. Let's go straight to Italy.
Let's do it. To Serie A.
All right, we are here. Look at that. Ready to go. We have to cover Serie A, the look ahead for Serie A match day 28. And before we jump into the matches, Vic, give us a reminder of what that table looked like.
Yeah, taking a look at the table, Inter Milan are still on top. They have 58 points. Napoli right behind them with 57 points. And then just behind them, 2 points, is Atalanta with 55 points. All three teams getting a draw last weekend, so none able to capitalize on these drop points from the top three. And then just rounding out our top four is Juventus with 52 points, 3 points behind Atalanta. So they're still in the conversation, and they've been on a roll, 5 straight wins. Who knows what this table is going to look like in just a couple weeks? It's getting pretty fun up there. But tickling our top four is Lazio, our Lazio, who got a win. They're at 50 points. And, they're not out of the competitions either. They're not out of the top four competition for sure. And, it's probably the most tight on top league that we have, I think. I'm pretty sure. So, it's looking
how we
fun.
like it. We like it tight.
We like it tight, exactly. Looking at the bottom of the table, though, Empoli are in the 18th spot. They would be the first team relegated if the season ended today. They have 22 points. Venezia is right behind them, who keep their badge because they're not in last place and also keep their relegation status. As I said last time, they have 18 points. And then Monza doing their best to stay in the 20th spot with 14 measly points on a 2-game losing streak, holding up the rest of the table. And like I said, it's getting pretty fun up there up top, and we have some pretty good matches this weekend a little bit. So tell us a little bit about those, News.
Yes, sir. And we start off in Serie A on Friday with mid-table Genoa taking on relegation-threatened Cagliari. Both teams come in having only won once in 5 Serie A matches. So it's a toss-up between Cagliari, although Cagliari, I guess I should say, have lost back-to-back matches coming in. So, they're in worse form. We also have on Saturday, Como finally getting a break from their top of the table run of opponents as they take on Venezia at home. Venezia forced back-to-back draws against Lazio and Atalanta, so they're not going to roll over. Venezia, I mean, when you see they where they are in the table, and then you look at the draws that they just had against 2 of the better teams in the league, that's crazy to me. So maybe they're onto something, Vic. Maybe they'll stay up. We'll find out. Como, though, they're pretty good. We have Parma in 17th, just outside of the relegation zone, and they take on mid-table Torino. And it feels like Torino should have more points. Every time I see them, I feel like they're getting wins, but they're not really that far up the table. But Parma have lost 4 of 5 and are only a point from safety, so it could be a good time to get 3 points for Torino. The Milkmen, Lecce, welcome Milan. And coming into this match, Lecce is actually on better form as they have lost back-to-back matches, and Milan have lost 3 straight Serie A matches. So is that better form to lose less matches? I don't know. But yeah, not good for Milan, and you would expect to bounce back soon. It's top of the table versus bottom of the table when Monza traveled to the San Siro to take on Inter. Inter have struggled for wins lately in the league, but if they don't win here, that is not a good sign. There's no way to drop points here, right, Vic? Right?
Yeah, not at all.
Sunday, Bologna go on the road to take on Hellas Verona. Bologna have won 3 of 5 with back-to-back wins and are on the come-up, sitting in the European places. They're starting to stack these wins, my friends, and maybe they'll be there at the end of it. Then it's second to the table, Napoli welcoming Fiorentina. Our Fiorentina got a win last time out, but they had lost 3 straight prior to that. And while Napoli haven't won in the last 5, you would think that they believe that they can get 3 points from this one. Roma go on the road to Empoli, having won 4 straight Serie A matches and charging up the table. They're now only 4 points outside of Europe, and they get a team that has failed to win in their last 12 matches and has lost 4 of their last 5. So let's go, Roma. I don't see Empoli staying up this season. Juve get a home date with Atalanta, and we'll talk more about that one in just a moment. And then Monday, a good matchup between our Lazio as they get a tough one with the informed Udinese as they come to Rome. Lazio have won 3 of their last 5, but Udinese have won 4 of their last 5 with 3 straight wins. Udinese sit mid-table, but a couple more results, and they could start thinking of Europe. We talked about how tight it is at the top of that table. A couple wins might get you there. Okay, before we move on, let's talk about the match that we are zoning in on, and that is Juve versus Atalanta. And, well, we thought Atalanta had gotten over their poor run of form when they beat Empoli 5-0 a couple weeks back, but then they decided to go 0-0 with Venezia last weekend, who are second bottom, as they say, and now I'm not sure what's going on with them. They've been so damn good this season that even though they've drawn 3 of their last 5, they're still in third and only 3 points off the Scudetto. But if they're going to stay in the fight, they get a tough match on their hands because Juve are starting to click, Vic. They are starting to click under manager Thiago Motta. And remember when they couldn't stop drawing, like They
Yeah.
13 draws. What is that? Double the amount of draws than any other team in the top 5, almost. But now they have to start. But now they've started to winning, and they have to continue to win because they're a bit of a dark horse. And it's 5 straight wins in a row. They're catching up to everyone else at the top of the table, and they're the only team in the Serie A with 1 loss. So yeah, they're starting to look like a team that could very well earn themselves a title. But big picture for this match is that with the recent success that Juve has found, they've closed the gap to the ATL, and with only separating them, 3 points in either direction is huge. If Atalanta win and stretch that gap to 6 points, I think their odds of maybe not only finishing above Juve, but being that challenger for the title. I mean, they could also cut the legs from Juve as far as being a title challenger. That's hard to say. So yeah, it's 3 points for Atalanta. Kind of prove like, hey, yeah, we're here for a reason. But for Juve, man, if you win this, bro, like you are level on points with them, and the goal differential is 11, so you're not going to catch up with 11 goals anytime soon. But to be level on points at third at this point in the season is crazy for Juve, who started off shaky with that new coach, and Motta's turned things around. So I'm hyped for this match. I think it's going to be exciting either way, and can't wait to see who wins. I think it'll probably end up being a draw that Juve kind of slow down and kind of take Adamo Lookman out of the game and kind of keep it close until they can get away with a point. But I don't know. I'm excited for it though. I want to see how it plays out. What do you think?
Not enough faith, man. I was asking my boy Christian, who's a Juventus fan. He's like, I don't know. It just seems too good right now. Like something's wrong, and he's like, he's not sure if he's gonna win. And then you're like, I don't know if Juventus. I think they're gonna win. We're going Juventus. They're gonna continue the winning streak, get even on points, and fight for that title some more. Let's do it. That's crazy. Let's do it, Juve.
Can you imagine though if they do win? I just said it a second ago, but if they do win, they go level with Atalanta in third, and they're only 3 points, or of course we have to know what happens to Inter and Napoli, but they're within 4 to 5 points of the top of the table. That is insane. After they drew so much earlier this season, we're making draws. Oh man, that's crazy. Man. Yeah, what a fun season though. What a fun season. Okay, that is it for the Serie A. I think now, Vic, it's time to go to Spain.
Let's do it then. To La Liga.
That just
smooth
perfectly every time, right?
Smooth.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is weird. I'm on. You're supposed to be over there.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm over here. You're supposed.
Hey, we gotcha. Well, before we jump into the league, the games from this weekend, let's talk about the table from last weekend, Vic.
Yep, taking a look at the table, very familiar up top. You got Barcelona for that annoying friend that comes back from Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona on top with 57 points. 1 point behind them is Atletico Madrid with 56 points. Real Madrid right behind them with 54 points, just 2 points behind them. And then Atletico Bilbao rounding out our top 4 with 48 points. And I was right. There's a 9-point gap for La Liga, and then the Serie A gap from first to fourth is 6 points. So, yeah, that was the closest one. This is the next closest one. The other ones are not very close for the ones we're going to be talking about either way. But for the team tickling the top 4 is Villarreal with 44 points. There's a 4-point gap between them and Bilbao. It's going to be a little harder hill to climb to get into those Champions League spots, but let's see what happens. At the bottom of the table, you'll find Valencia. They have 24 points, only an 18th spot. In the 18th spot, they would be the first team relegated if the season ended today. In that 18th spot due to a negative 16 goal differential. Las Palmas also has 24 points, but have a negative 14 goal differential. And score some more goals, Valencia. In the 19th spot with 23 points is Deportivo Alaves, and they are in got a draw this past weekend, so trying to fight out, but the bottom 3 also did get draws. The bottom 4 actually got draws, so not making it easy to fight out of relegation. And then, of course, at the bottom, holy guacamole, my Volidolis, Real Valladolid, only have 16 points despite getting a draw this past weekend. Again, like I said, the bottom 4 all got draw, making it harder for them to bounce out. They are holding up the rest of the table, again, with those 16 points. So, come on, guys. I just bought merch, so get it together. But yeah, again, another exciting weekend we have for La Liga. Snooze, tell us a little bit about the matches we got going on.
And I want to say that this is the first time I can remember that they don't have a Friday game in Spain, which
I saw that, yeah, when I was
like
putting it together.
usually they have Friday, and then they have like the best schedule. We talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah,
And then
Saturday.
as soon as I said
go
that,
ahead.
just real quick, they have Bilbao and Mallorca and Real Betis and Las Palmas playing at the same time. They've never done that, and now they're playing at the same time.
They're screwing everything
as
up.
soon as I say something, yeah.
Yeah, this is a weird scheduled weekend. I don't know. Maybe there's like festivals or something going on in Spain that we're not aware of. But yeah, let's jump into the schedule. So Saturday, Celta Vigo are sitting at mid-table, and they take on 16th Leganés. Now, Leganés did win last time out against Getafe, but Celta are in a good run of form of their own, as they've only lost once in their last 5 La Liga matches. Leganés are only 3 points from relegation, though, so yeah, it's a wounded animal game, I guess you can call it. Alaves are only a point from safety as they take on 5th place Villarreal. Villarreal have won 3 of 5 and are cruising up the table. Wow, I'm butchering Villarreal at the moment. With Bilbao's loss last weekend, Villarreal are now only 4 points out of the top 4. And don't slip up here, baby. Do not slip up. We get a 6-pointer when Vic's Valladolid travel to take on Valencia. More on this match in a second, and I bet you weren't thinking that was the match we're talking about. And I know. But the only other matchup with top teams involves Rayo and Real Madrid, and I cannot do another Rayo match. We've talked about them every time, and they lose 1-0, and I'm just not going to do it. Barcelona get a mid-table Osasuna side who have not won in their last 4 matches in La Liga, while Barca tried to make it 6 wins in a row and maintain that top spot in the league. On Sunday, Getafe had a heartbreaker in Leganés last weekend, and they get Atleti this weekend. Another loss for Getafe, and they could be starting to creep back into that relegation battle, but Atleti don't care as they try to catch Barca. Real Madrid get Rayo Vallecano at the Bernabeu, and if you recall, this reverse fixture in Vallecas was 3-3 at the end of it. Now, both teams are coming in having dropped points lately, and in this derby match, everything's up in the air, so this could get interesting. But it's just not the match we're going to focus on. Bilbao look to bounce back after their slip-up in Madrid last weekend. They get Mallorca at San Mamés. Mallorca have only lost once in their last 5, but they've also only won once as well. So Bilbao are trying to keep hold of that top 4 spot, and Mallorca are pushing for that top 6. It's going to be a fun one, but I expect Bilbao to get it done here. Real Betis welcome a plummeting Las Palmas side to Seville. Las Palmas have lost 4 of their last 5 and look like they're on their way down as a team below them start to step up. And Betis just beat Real Madrid and are feeling good right now, but then they got that weird draw in the Europa League, or the Conference League. So Real Sociedad in 9th gets Sevilla in 12th. And it's weird to say that because any other year, this is typically a battle for top 6 placement, but not this season. So both teams need 3 points, and we'll see who actually comes out on top. Probably means they're going to split them. On Monday, 15th Espanyol get 13th Girona. Espanyol could really embarrass Girona here because for a side that made the Champions League last season and played in it this season, they are struggling for form, sitting in 13th, having lost 3 of their last 5 in La Liga. So Espanyol, let's see what you can do. And with all that said, the match that we are zoning in on, like I said, or taking a look at, the match we are watching the most in La Liga will be Valencia versus Valladolid, Vic's Valladolid. And the reason is because it's probably going to be the last time we can do that for Valladolid. But really, it has more to do about Valencia. Now, I picked this match. Typically, like I was saying, it's a top-of-the-table clash that I usually pick. But we're not getting a lot of those this week, as I mentioned. And I wanted to highlight an important match for the La Liga season. And as I mentioned a few months ago, if you don't remember, Valencia have only been relegated once in their entire history, and that was back in 1986. So this isn't normal for them. And with what's happened to that region this year with the floods and the packed out Mestalla that's kind of opened up since then, this team deserves to stay up. And I really think that, they've been good lately, but the issue is they've only lost once in the last 5 matches, and that was to Atleti, which, Atleti are one of the better teams in Spain, in Europe. But now they have to go back to winning ways after drawing last weekend, and they have to win against Valladolid. It's no longer optional to win this match, Vic. It's a crunch time La Liga. It's crunch time in the La Liga season, and they are running out of winnable matches, at least on paper. I'll put it that way. So Valladolid seem like they know they are on their way out, and they've lost 4 of their last 5 with a combined. Get this, Vic. Your Valladolid has lost the last 5 matches with a combined 17 goals against and 2 goals for. That is absolutely horrible, terrible. But I will say this. They got a spirited point. That's the best way I could describe it against Las Palmas last weekend, and will be looking to take points off another relegation candidate in Valencia. Now, the pressure is on both teams, obviously, since they're both under relegation threat. But really, I would say Valencia, they're only there because of their goal differential, and the pressure is on them because, as I mentioned, a point is not good enough. Valladolid will take anything. For Valencia, they have to go for it. They have to win it, and preferably win big so they can change that goal differential. So I'll be watching this one for all of those reasons I just said. And Valencia, man, I just can't see them not being in La Liga, and they got to make it happen this weekend. Vic, any parting words for your Volidoli?
Let's do it, guys. Come on. I don't know. It's hard to get behind them at any point. They have what, negative 40? No, I can check real quick.
God,
negative 43 goal differential. Like, it's insane. And Valencia doesn't look that great, but they look better than Valladolid. So
yeah,
I'm still my heart's gonna tell me to go for Valladolid. I'll still go for them. 1-0. It's not gonna be fun. Not gonna be exciting. I think we'll grit it out.
Yeah,
hopefully.
I'm hoping that they don't get blown out, but I can see like a 2-0 win for Valencia. I can go that. And okay, I think we're good. Moving on to let's go to Germany.
Oh, also real quick, did you notice that I was on top last time? I wanted to point that out too because I pointed this one out.
Oh wow!
Sorry, I'm pissing off our producers right now. They're so
switching it up, baby. Oh God! All right. Well, let's go to Germany.
Did you? Oh, I just cut out. Oh, I thought you took me out.
Oh, I thought that was like scripted, like you did that.
That was perfect.
And for the audience, they can't hear us. He went off. Everybody can see that, but Danny P's claiming that he didn't do that. He's saying it happened randomly.
I don't know.
I mean, bullshit.
I don't know about that.
You're telling me he was talking shit, and then okay, randomly. All right. Well, anyway, you want to take us? You want to take us to Germany?
Well, then, okay, I'll just do it to Bundesliga.
Yeah, there's no need to edit that out. We're all pros here, and he did it on purpose anyway. So he's acting like he didn't do it on purpose. He did it on purpose. Like, what do you want us to do? Okay. Before we jump into the schedule, though, Vic, give us an update or give us a reminder on what the Bundesliga table looked like from match day 24.
Yes. Now we're going to start seeing a little less of the competitiveness on top of the table, as you have Bayern Munich on top still. They have 61 points, and then a full 8 points behind them is never losing Leverkusen. They have 53 points. Behind them, another 11 points is Eintracht Frankfurt. They have 42 points. And then it gets a little close here because Mainz is just 1 point behind Frankfurt with 41 points. And then tickling our top four is Freiburg, who also are just 1 point behind Mainz with 40 points. At the bottom of the table, though, it's also a tight race. There we have Holstein Kiel, who would be the first team eliminated or relegated if the season ended today. They have 16 points. We're able to fight for the 17th spot with their win in this past weekend. They knock Heidenheim into the last spot with 15 measly points, holding up the rest of the table. So 1 point is a differentiator between 17th and 18th. And then Bochum, remember how I used to say, boy, oh boy, Bochum? They're the ones that started it all. They're just 1 point above them. So there's a tight relegation battle for the bottom three, and we will see how it goes. It's going to be interesting on top and bottom. It's interesting on top and bottom. So, but yeah, we do have some pretty fun matchups to this weekend in Bundesliga. So tell us a little bit more about those matches there, Snooze.
Yeah, on Friday, we do get a juicy one, and we start off right as Gladbach get a home date with top four side Mainz, as Vic was just telling us. Mainz have been cruising lately with 3 straight wins, but Gladbach are only a result away from being in the top 5 and fighting for Europe. On Saturday, a fellow top 6 hopeful in Wolfsburg take on relegation candidate St. Pauli. I don't know where it all went wrong for St. Pauli, but they have now lost 4 straight in the Bundesliga and don't have a ton of margin for error anymore. The soon-to-be champs of Germany, Bayern Munich, take on 16th Bochum. While Bochum have enjoyed some success lately, they face a dominant Bayern team that don't look like they're slipping up anytime soon. Stuttgart have dropped all the way to mid-table as they go on the road to take on second bottom Kiel. Kiel have actually had a more recent win than Stuttgart, and we'll look to take advantage of some struggling Stuttgart side here. This one should be interesting as mid-table teams Dortmund and Augsburg go head-to-head in Dortmund. Dortmund do come in off back-to-back wins, but Augsburg haven't lost in the last 5. Dortmund could be back in European hunt if things go their way this weekend, which is just insane to say, thinking about how they were in such a crisis just not even 2-3 weeks ago. Leverkusen take on Werder Bremen. Bremen have lost 4 straight while Leverkusen are still flying high in second. Seems pretty straightforward for Leverkusen. And we get a top 6 clash when Freiburg get Leipzig at home. We'll talk about this one more in a second. And it's pretty straightforward match here, as well as Eintracht Frankfurt get Union Berlin. I say that because Union have lost 3 straight, but Eintracht come in off back-to-back losses themselves, so they couldn't slip up here, could they? We'll find out. Hoffenheim look to continue their good run of form as they get Heidenheim, who find themselves bottom of the table after another loss last weekend. Heidenheim are still in the hunt for the playoff spot, but they are terrible right now and probably not going to make it if I had to put my money on it. Okay, Vic, the match we are watching in the Bundesliga this weekend is Freiburg versus Leipzig, as we just mentioned. And Freiburg come into this match with Leipzig having leapfrogged Leipzig last week after all the results kind of tallied in. But now they only sit 2 points ahead of Leipzig after winning 4 of their last 5 in the Bundesliga. So with all the success they've had, they have caught up, but only 2 points. So if they lose, they're back down. So it's kind of like you're there, but if you beat this team, then you kind of establish like, okay, you're there for real. But I mean, if they win this one, they can put a pretty good gap between them. And so that's kind of where this game is kicking off for me and why I'm excited to watch it. Because if you think about it, it was only back in January that Freiburg had lost 3 straight matches to Eintracht, Stuttgart, and Bayern. And their wins lately have come against bottom half teams in Bremen, St. Pauli, Heidenheim, and Bochum. So are they a real team? Leipzig will be their first test since they've been on this run, but it's like, are you a real team or are you just beating up on some of the teams that are on their way out? Now, Leipzig have been up and down this year for sure, but they beat Freiburg 3-1 in the reverse fixture earlier this year. So with only 3 points between them in the Champions League spots, which they have it, I'm saying 3 points between Leipzig and the Champions League spots. And if you remember this, Leipzig have made the Champions League for the past 5 straight years. So of course they know how to get there. And I think they'll probably find a way to get it done. But both teams come in with so much on the line, and the table is so congested that things will be shaken up every week, as we were just talking about, at least in the top from 3 down. And, man, you just got to love it. I would put my money, like I was saying, on Leipzig rising to the occasion, but they have definitely bit me a couple times this season. But I would go for like a 2-1 win for Leipzig. Vic, how you feel?
I think I'm with you on that one. I think Leipzig just have, that pedigree in them. And, I'd like to see Freiburg win just because they look like their symbol looks like the enemies, like at all times. So I think it'd be pretty cool to see them win. But I think I got Leipzig this one as well, probably 2-1 as well.
The funny that you say that, the enemy or the bad team,
the villain.
Yeah, the villain. There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I think of that every time I see Eintracht's logo and Freiburg's logo. I'm like, they just have to be the bad guy, and they're black and red. Those are the bad guy colors.
Bad guy colors.
Sith Lords, right? Sith
No.
Lords. Anyway,
Speaking
of nerd stuff, real quick. Look, I'm wearing this shirt today. And I walk in and I'm like showing my wife and my daughter, and my daughter's 3 months old, so she doesn't know what the heck's going on. But I'm like, hey, check out what I'm wearing for the show. And then my wife's like, oh, did you just get into Hufflepuff? I'm like, oh, wow. I'm trying to look fly for the show, and you just make a freaking Harry Potter joke. Oh God,
That's a good one. I like that. I like that one.
Okay, well, I think that's all we have for Germany. I think it is time to go to England.
Let's do it. To Premier League. I'm trying to switch it up. I usually say the Prem, so
yeah. I mean, this is episode 50, and we're showing. We're definitely getting through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're hobbling through, but we got it.
We're almost there, baby. Okay. Well, before we jump off, let's start with that table, Vic, in the Prem.
Let's do it, because it looks all bright up top as Liverpool are still your champions in the number 1 spot. They have 67 points, a full 13 points clear of Arsenal in the number 2 spot, although the rest of the league has a game in hand, as Liverpool played one more game than the rest of the league, except for Villa, of course. So they have we're 13 points ahead, and Nottingham Forest is another 6 points behind Arsenal with 48 points in the 3rd spot. And then Manchester City still can't get out of the top 4. Unfortunately, they have 47 points, just 1 point behind Nottingham Forest in the 3rd spot. And then tickling our top 4 is Chelsea, who have 46 points, just 1 more point behind Manchester City in the 4th spot. If we take a look at the bottom of the table, you'll see Ipswich Town, who will be the first team relegated if the season ended today. They have 17 points. Leicester City also have 17 points in the 19th spot, so they're fighting for I guess the bottom, first loser there. And then boy, Southampton still only have 9 points on another 3-game losing streak.
Not even double digits left.
Not even double digits yet in team points. And it's not looking very bright for them this weekend either, as they take top of the league, Liverpool. So I'm also looking forward to that. But tell us more about the rest of the matchups we have going on. Snooze.
Yes, sir. And it all gets started super early, 6:30 our time anyway, with City versus Forest, and we'll break that one down in just a moment. Then we have first against last as Liverpool welcomes Southampton to Anfield, as Vic was just talking about. And you would make a lot of money if you bet on Southampton to get a point from this game, and they actually did it. But don't do it, because you're just throwing away money, because did you see what Liverpool did to PSG? You know, they'll find a way to get it done. This is just a crazy year for them. Informed Crystal Palace get 18th Ipswich Town, and I've been telling y'all for a bit, don't take Palace lightly. Don't sleep on them, if you will, because they are sitting in 12th. Yeah, but they've got a great squad, and they've had good matches against the better teams in this league. And now that might change if Mateta is going to be out for a while. Mateta, I don't even know how you pronounce this, but Mateta, after getting freaking karate kicked in the face. Did you see it?
I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, dude, I don't even know. Was he like trying to do a karate move? Like, what is going on?
I don't know. It wasn't smart. I don't know why you would lift your boot that high.
I mean, he was out too. Mateta was out. So, if he's going to be out, maybe that changes things for Palace. But man, they're a fun team this year. We also get a clash of European hopefuls when Fulham go on the road to take on Brighton. And both teams have been decent run of form lately, but Brighton have won 3 straight, and I don't see them slowing down here. Brentford sit mid-table, and they get fellow mid-table side Aston Villa. Feels weird with Villa doing so good in the Champions League that they would be mid-table in the Prem, but here we are, and it should be a good one. Wolves get Everton at home, and get this, Wolves are 17th, and Everton are just above them in 16th in the table, right? So only 1 point, only one place away, but there's a 10-point gap between them. That's insane. Everton haven't lost in a while, and Danny P's loving it, and they probably get a result here. It's just, yes, technically they're in the relegation zone, but 10 point, that is crazy. That's insane. Okay, Sunday, Spurs in 13th, who, technically relegation battle too, you know what I'm saying? But they welcome Bournemouth, who are in 7th, to that big, beautiful stadium in the north of London. And the Cherries come into this off back-to-back losses, rather. But they did beat Spurs 1-0 in the reverse fixture here. So Spurs are starting to get healthy and look like themselves, and it's going to be a good one. I really can't tell you who's going to win, although I did see Spurs just bottle it, as you would, against AZ Alkmaar, so I don't know what's happening. A struggling Chelsea side who are having fan protests against ownership are still in 5th place, so I don't know what they're crying about. Poor them. They take on Leicester, who are sitting in 2nd bottom, and it should be straightforward for Chelsea. Any other year, Manchester United getting Arsenal in Manchester would be the match of the week, but not this year, as Arsenal are second in the table, yes. But they are 13 points behind Liverpool, or was it 13 still? 11, something like that? It's still insane. 13. Still 13, yes. And United are 14th in the table, so, take whoever you want in this one, I guess. Monday, an equally as struggling West Ham side get Newcastle at home, and Newcastle have lost 3 of their last 5 and have fallen to 6th place, which is still Europe, but not Champions League. But both teams have something to prove here. And I'm glad it's on Monday Night Football, because I actually haven't gotten to see Graham Potter's side play for 90 minutes. I've only gotten to see like the long form highlights. And I'm excited to see, because they're bringing him in mid-season to make some changes. So let's see it. If he's going to be good. But Newcastle, again, they're fun to watch, but they're just weird. They're just kind of up and down. So anyway, that's Monday Night Football, which is weird to say, but it is legitimately called Monday Night Football. So, okay. The match that we were watching in this one, though, like I mentioned earlier, Forest versus Manchester City. And City have a chance to put this little fairy tale of Forest making it to Europe to bed. And they are only a point off of them and could climb into the top 3 with a win. Now, it's looking like top 5 is going to get you Champions League in the Prem next season. So Forest have some wiggle room, but they have been in dreadful form lately as they've lost 3 of their last 5 and only won once in that span. The good thing for them is that Chris Wood is still firing them home, but they're going to need a lot of work on the defensive side to keep up with City, as Haaland, Savinho, and the new boy Marmoush are looking pretty damn good lately and starting to gel. So typically City would dominate a match like this, but like I said, in the Prem, it's a weird year for not all of the top teams. I mean, I guess it is weird because Liverpool usually aren't this dominant, and they're weird that they're dominant like this. So I think while I think City can get it done, I'm intrigued to see how Nuno sets his boys up here, and if he can get a point and stay ahead of them in the table. That would be crazy if they can do that. And if Forest can get that point or even 3, like I was just saying, this would be massive. I mean, it would definitely, at least in my mind, put them as a front runner for the Champions League spots going into next season. But yeah, I mean, City, they're weird. They turn up sometimes. They don't turn up sometimes. I don't know. Vic, who do you have in this one?
Well, I think I'm going to keep it red and go Nottingham Forest for a couple reasons. One, they're red to begin with. That's my favorite color. 2 is because Kendrick Lamar has taught me, and I've seen this many times, that I'm not hating to my full potential. And I think I need to hate Manchester City a little bit more. And yeah, I don't wish anything good on them. And they should have been docked points like Everton was at one time for all the trading and everything. And yeah, let's go Nottingham Forest. Let's knock them out of the Champions League spots. And let's go everyone else. Let's go Chelsea. Let's go Newcastle United. Let's get them out of any kind of European
Maybe
spots.
Spurs?
No, let's not get too crazy. I'm just kidding.
Right, fair enough. Yeah, I think I'm going to go City, but only because I think that the only thing that I can see Forest getting is a draw. So if they're going to slow down that City team, they're going to basically just make it a ugly, slow, boring game. And I don't see it being that way. I see City kind of taking it to them. And yeah, I mean, they beat obviously Spurs last time out. So I think that they're probably going to try to stack up some wins. They're out of the Champions League already, so they don't have anything else to focus on. Are they in the? I can't remember if they're in the FA Cup. They might have been in there. So I didn't watch the FA Cup. We don't cover the FA Cup here, so I don't have to do my homework. It's like an off week for me in the league. So, but anyway, I see them getting 3 points here. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 or 3-1. I think they win pretty easily. And this is at 6:30. So, oof. I don't know if are you waking up for it? I don't know.
Maybe I got to be at oh wait, no, I'll be playing disc golf. Never mind.
My daughter wakes me up around 7 a.m. So I'll probably catch the end of the first half and then watch the second half, but it's just good. All 4 leagues are back, Vic. I'm excited and I'm ready to go. Take us home, sir.
Well, again, everyone, thank you for spending some time with us and talking about some football, European football. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It's the best way for us to grow. And if that's maybe something you want to see is us to grow and have this channel become bigger, please like and subscribe and comment down below. Let us know if there's anything that you're looking forward to that we didn't call out this coming weekend. And yeah, we will talk to you guys again on Tuesday for the European wrap-up. Everyone, enjoy the football, and we will talk to you then.
Peace.